Greetings demons and welcome to a Minecraft update discussion video. So, as we found out last year, the next major update for Minecraft Bedrock is going to be the Caves and Cliffs update. And we unfortunately got some bad news about it. So, rather than it being all part of one update, 1.17 or 1.17, we're actually going to be getting it as two updates, that being 1.17 or 1.17 and 1.18, 1.18. Now, this is going to be a summer release for 1.17 and a holiday release or Christmas release, whatever you want to call it, for 1.18. And yeah, I'm just going to break down what we're actually going to be getting in each of these updates, just so you're aware of what to expect. So in 1.17, the summer release, we're going to be getting all the block, mob, and copper updates. So the blocks are any of the new items, basically any of the new blocks that are getting added. There's a large list of them, and I'm not going to get into them right now, but it's the vast majority of the aesthetic stuff is getting added. As for mobs, we're getting the glow squid, axolotl, and goats. No words on any of the enemy mobs, but it's possible that we might get something. It's just, not been mentioned yet. We're getting the friendly mobs. I don't think it's that much of a loss in the grand scheme. How they've done it, it's okay, and I will explain what they've given as their excuses for this, and I think it's pretty reasonable. And then, as I say, the final thing that's coming in the summer release is the copper generation. So we are getting copper, a brand new ore. I'm not sure if we're getting amethyst as well to go along with it, but we're definitely getting copper, which is a great thing to happen, and honestly, if they're going to split it up, I'm actually happy they've done it this way. Though it does make the fact that the entire update across these two updates is still going to be called Caves and Cliffs, and the summer release 1.17 is not going to have any Cliffs content or Caves content for that matter, other than a few odd spawns, that being for the goat in the mountains and then the copper underground. But yeah, the second release, the holiday release 1.18, that is going to be the focus of world generation, so that's adding the new biomes that we're getting, things like cliffs, the taller cliffs, the bigger cliffs, snowier snow, stuff like that, alongside the new caves, and above all else, quite literally, we're also going to be having a greater world height, which is something that a lot of people have been wanting for Bedrock for a very long time. It's been held back mostly by mobile, by Pocket Edition, and yeah, we're finally getting a greater world height to match with Java Edition, which, I can wait on that, honestly, it's fine. I'm not completely happy with the fact that it's been split into two, but the way they've split it, I'm almost fine with. So, in the update video, Agnes and Henrik go over the three main factors that have caused them to decide to do this, that being quality, technical complexity, and team health. Now, what they basically said for quality is that in its current state, if they were going to get it all out for the summer release, which it was intended for, it would just not be up to standard. Whether that be due to the technical complexity or just other factors that are in place, that will be explained a bit more with the other two factors. But yeah, generally it's just a thing of they want the game to be as good as possible, which I think is fair enough. I, feel like it's a bit of a poor excuse, but with the other two factors, it does make a lot more sense. So when it comes to technical complexity, they go over that there's been a lot of challenges due to the fact that they have to get this game to work on so many different platforms. There is so much new stuff and new mechanics that need to be added. And honestly, I understand that completely. I think, game development is something that I've only done a little bit of, but I do understand its complexity. It is really difficult to make a game, especially when it is built on such, old a basis like Minecraft is. It's such an old game at this point, and honestly, I can understand completely that they probably are struggling with some very major elements of the mechanics for this update. So, at the end of the day, technical complexity definitely a valid thing, and, if they're struggling with it, it's fair enough that they might want to delay some parts of it so they can get them as good as possible. Now, the final factor, as I mentioned, is team health, and they basically just went over that if they don't split this update, they will be having to do a lot of crunch, which is not a good thing. Crunch is an epidemic within the game industry, and it's not a good thing. It basically stops the developers from actually living normal lives for a very long time. They are overworked, underpaid, and generally it's not a good time. And I honestly think, I said this with Cyberpunk 2077, it's better for the game to be delayed than it is for the actual developers to be struggling in their real life. At the end of the day, it's a video game. It's a free update for a video game that we all already have. You know, it's fine to miss out on a few months for certain features if it means that the developers are going to actually be able to live somewhat comfortably. And obviously, they did also mention, it's still a pandemic. It's fair enough. You know, we still are living with COVID-19 right now. I know the vaccine is coming out, but that isn't changing things as quickly as people would hope. And at the end of the day, they've been developing this throughout the pandemic. It hasn't really subsided anywhere where Mojang is based. And just generally, it is a very important thing to discuss when we're talking about why something like this would happen. So, the final thing that they did mention is that they want to make sure that the new world generation, which is going to be covered in the holiday release, is going to respect old worlds. So this basically means that they don't want the new world generation to ruin any existing world generation, and on top of that they want it to flow, you know, somewhat seamlessly into the new areas. Biomes are always a difficult thing to introduce into an old world, and, you know, at the end of the day, we've seen it before where things like, you know, mountain walls and stuff like that have just appeared in older worlds when you've extended them, or when new biomes have been introduced and weren't rendered in initially. It becomes a bit of an issue. So if they're working as hard as they can to make sure that that doesn't happen this time and that everything is as smooth as possible, I see that as a win for everybody. I have plenty of old worlds that I do want to move into this new update, and if that means waiting a little bit longer, that's honestly fine by me. But that is everything that I wanted to go over. That is the entirety of this update. Agnes and Henrik's video will be in the description below. They go through it all in much further detail, and obviously they're the official source. But in any case, that's it for this video. Tell me what you think. Are you annoyed? Are you fine with this? Do you think it's valid what they've said as the excuses? I personally think it is, but tell me what you think in the comments below. And yeah, otherwise, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, and, you know, check out the Trello if you want to see what I'm doing now, or doing next, or whatever. This outro gets longer every time. But anyway, yeah, that's it for this video, and, yeah. Bye!
Lunar rainbow flag, happy pride, rabbit with facts. Streamer let's play, they them out like dinosaurs. FNAFN, control, not the leader of a cult. Rabbit with sax, it's Lunar.